In this video, we'll create a new Angular component. Our goal is to create a new Angular component to display a table of data. So we'll have information for our sales team. So we'll create this custom component that'll have an HTML table and will provide the first name, last name, email, and sales volume for our given sales team. Let's look at our development process. So the first thing we'll do is we'll create a new project. Then we'll update the main template page. Next, we'll generate a new component. And then we'll add the new component selector to the app template page. Next, we'll generate a salesperson class. Next, in the salesperson list component, we'll create some sample data. And then finally, in our salesperson list template file, we'll build the HTML table by looping over the data. Alrighty, so starting here with step 1, creating a new project. So we simply use the Angular CLI, we say ng new sales project. And then once the project's created, then we simply cd into that directory. And remember, this generates all of the Angular starter files for our project. And we saw an overview of those files in some of the previous videos. Alrighty, in step 2, we'll update our main template page. I'll move into that file and remove all of the Angular placeholder content that they give us at the start, and just to keep our page simple and clean for our custom project. Then in step 3, I need to generate a new component. So I use the Angular CLI again. So I'll say ng generate component salesperson list. It'll go off and create some files for us and also perform an update on our module file. And on the next slide, we'll actually discuss these generated files. Alrighty, so more information about those generated files. So the salesperson list.component.ts, that's the actual component class, the TypeScript class. The .html is the component template HTML file. The .component.css is the component private CSS specific for this given component. And then a .spec.ts, that's the unit test specifications for this component. And then we saw the line about update the app module.ts. This is where it actually adds the component to the main application module. So here's a bit more about that main application module. So that command here, basically what they did is they modified the app module.ts and they added an import statement here to the module and also a declaration for the module. So our new component here, salesperson list component, they automatically updated this file. And this is actually a really nice feature. In the early days of Angular, you had to manually add this code to the app module, and it was a common pitfall for new developers. So I'm really happy now that the Angular team has incorporated this feature into the Angular CLI. Makes life much easier for us developers. Now looking at step 4 of adding the new component selected to the app template page. So in our app component.html, we'll add a new reference here for app salesperson list. Now this is the actual name of the selector from that new component that we just created. And we can verify that by looking at the add component definition here, selector app salesperson list. So that's the actual custom tag that we'll use for this given component here. And for template URL, that's a location to our actual component HTML file. Now later on in our component class, we'll actually add sample data here. And then over on our template file, our component.html, we'll add our HTML table here. And you'll see how this will all come together later in the video.